The Tennessee Titans took two players in the 7th round, James Williams and Jaylen Harrell, who have tremendous upside. I'll show you what I saw on tape on today's film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans. Titans fans, welcome into another film breakdown from Tic Tac Titans. I am your host, Tyler Rowland, 25 years as a Tennessee Titans fanatic and a certified film junkie, breaking down the X's and O's with you guys all year long. I'm the host of the #1 Tennessee Titans podcast in the world, Locked On Titans, and I've covered the team for Sports Illustrated and USA Today. On today's episode, we're going to take a look at the Tennessee Titans' two 7th-round picks. Safety, now going to be linebacker James Williams out of Miami, and then edge rusher Jaylen Harrell out of Michigan. Both guys are 7th-round picks for a reason, but they do have some high upside and can provide some value to the Titans in year one. Make sure that you hit subscribe for year-round Tennessee Titans content. Also, throw a thumbs up on the video as well. With all that being said, as we always do, let's step into the film room. So what I want to focus on throughout this is not just the skill set of James Williams, but also the versatility and how I think he could be used on the Tennessee Titans. And one of the big things that you see him do on film quite a bit is match up with tight ends. So you're going to see Williams down here one-on-one with the tight end, and I think that's a role that he could play right away for the Tennessee Titans. If you guys remember Dane Cruikshank in 2021, Cruikshank was used basically as a tight end stopper every week. He would just come in the dime package as the third safety. He would match up in man coverage against the tight end, and he had pretty good success there. So I think that's something that James Williams could do early on, especially in the matchup defense that we're probably going to see from Denard Wilson, Titans' new defensive coordinator. And here, he just does a good job getting hands on the tight end, being physical with him. You know, that's going to be a big part of his game at 6'4" with long arms and good physicality. I'm going to talk about some of the weaknesses later on in the video and just kind of talk about those with you guys. But he's just not the most athletic guy. He doesn't have great speed or change of direction or agility and things like that. He's just a real big-bodied physical guy, and against some of the bigger-bodied tight ends in the NFL, that could probably go well like we're seeing here. So it really stays on him. That's a good rep. So again, a lot of this for me is alignment in the way that the Titans can use James Williams in a variety of different ways. The skill set on tape, he's a 7th-round pick, guys. So this isn't somebody who, you know, is incredibly impressive when you turn on the tape. I mean, compared to me, of course. People always want to say, well, he's better than you. Yeah, he is better than me, obviously, but that's not going to do much for you at the NFL level. You need to be a little bit better than me at football to be a good NFL player. But you see James Williams down here, and he's lined up as an edge rusher. And that's something that I think he can do very well. You see some blitzes from the second level. This is a guy who's going to be converted to linebacker with the Titans. I think, you know, like I mentioned earlier, a dime linebacker, sub-package linebacker in passing situations. And the Titans are going to be a team that blitzes a ton. They're going to blitz their linebackers. They're going to confuse you as to who's coming, who's dropping. So I think he can really serve a role for the Titans on passing downs as a linebacker. So this isn't a play where there's an incredible result or you see something crazy about his skill set, but wanted to show that he has the versatility to line up man-on-man against a tight end, but also as an edge rusher. Look, he comes off, dips underneath the tackle, chase down with good range. I think that's the kind of stuff that the Titans are going to ask him to do, and he's going to be able to do multiple things. And when you're a 7th-round pick, you better play special teams. You better provide versatility. That's how you're going to survive. All right, so two different things that I want to talk about on this play. We come back to the versatility. So you have James Williams here as the deep safety, free safety, post safety. Now, he's never going to do this in the NFL. And if he is, I'm going deep right away. Whatever it takes, because he does not have the speed to play deep safety. And I got to be honest, I have no idea why Miami used him the way that they used him. Again, I guess, as we discussed, he didn't want to play linebacker. He viewed himself as a safety. Things like that, you know, that we'll never really know about, I guess, or that you just hear about, you can't confirm, but he should never be playing back deep. But the fact that they put him back there, it just shows he can move around the field and be versatile. But really what matters on this play is the hitting. Because this guy reminds you of Cam Chancellor. Now, Cam Chancellor was a great player. So I'm not telling you that James Williams can be Cam Chancellor. And again, he's going to be a linebacker for the Titans, not a safety. But this sort of ability to come downhill and hit people, slant, pop. I mean, that is, and you see this all over the tape too. I'm giving you a couple examples here, but this is all over his tape. The dude loves to hit. Now, he gets himself in trouble sometimes because he loves to hit this way, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But again, got just a quick deep slant in route here from this guy, and Williams just barrels downhill to destroy him. So this is the kind of stuff that's everywhere on the tape. He wants to be physical. He wants to hit people. And you know what's coming from me, folks. Boom! Love that stuff. Love it. Here's another example of his hit power. And a guy that just wants to be aggressive and physical. This receiver's going to come out here and run a quick sit-down route. And then Williams is just going to lay a hit on him as soon as he gets the ball and turns upfield. Whap! Strong hit power. Strong hit power. And that's what he wants to do. So, love the wrap-up here. As long as he can stay technical like that, he'll be in good shape. So again, the Titans are going to use James Williams as a linebacker. That's going to be his role at the next level. So I wanted to show this because here he's basically at linebacker depth, maybe a little bit behind, but we're going to see this is what he's going to be asked to do for the Titans. So you're going to have a run play going this way, and Williams is just going to meet him and make the hit. So we've seen matchup against tight end. We've seen deep free safety. We've seen regular safety depth. We've seen edge rusher as well. And now we're seeing linebacker depth from James Williams. So get through, make a tackle. Like to see a little bit of a stronger tackle. But again, you know, this is versatility in the alignment that I really am trying to point out for you guys. Hey, more hit sticking. All right. So you got a run play coming this direction. You got James Williams up as a deep free safety. And this is when he's at his best, when he's able to just go downhill and be physical. And that's why he's going to be a linebacker at the next level. But this is just another hit stick on the sideline. And, you know, it gets you fired up seeing plays like this. And this is also a good reason why he should be good on special teams. Here it comes. Whap! Man, just sticking him. And look how he hits, though, with that shoulder down. Look, when you're way bigger than everybody at the college level, but when you get to the NFL level and there are bigger, stronger, faster athletes, you're going to have to play with better technique, and you're going to have to wrap up, not just throw a shoulder into guys. So I liked this rep because this was the fastest I saw James Williams move on tape. Throughout all of the study that I did for him leading up to this video, this was the quickest I saw him move. So you have like a quick drag route across the field here, and then you're going to have James Williams back here at safety. And he gets a little bit of help from his friends, which we all need from time to time. But watching him trigger downhill to make this hit and wrap up and make this tackle, the speed that he has going downhill is the fastest I saw him move at any point in time on his tape. It's this play right here. So if he can do this more often and play with this sort of downhill speed as a linebacker, that's going to be helpful for the Titans. There's the drag, and here he comes. Boom. Makes the tackle. Again, watch the speed once he decides he's going forward. Bam, I'm going. Now watch the burst. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, so here we go, linebacker depth. You have Williams right here at linebacker depth, and he's going to deliver a hit on the running back who runs the ball up the middle here. And this is a good wrap-up tackle. This isn't just hitting with hit power in your shoulder. This is getting your arms through and making a good form tackle. So need to see more of this from James Williams. Wrap the legs. Helmet on the ball. Good strength. That's what you do. That's how you make hits. Not just with that shoulder hit. You got to wrap up and drive through guys. Bam! Slams him. Good tackle. Now, our last play here of James Williams, this is a good example of what I think he can do for the Titans as well. So this is clearly a passing situation. Miami is in a bit of a varied front, and you can barely see James Williams over here. This is his arm. But what's going to happen is, excuse me, he's going to creep up here and then blitz off the edge. And he makes the play on the running back on a run up the middle. And these sorts of edge blitzes, showing man on a tight end, but coming off and getting into the backfield, these are the type of things that I think he's going to be used to do with the Titans. And that's why I thought it was important to point out this play. You can see him start to sneak in. He sneaks in. Here he comes. And now he's off the edge with good quickness. And he's big enough and physical enough to basically play as a linebacker. Boom. Makes the play. This is the kind of stuff he's going to be asked to do in the Titans dime packages. All right, guys, so I did something a little bit different on today's video. These are 7th round picks. So especially with James Williams, I don't want to sit here and show you all the bad plays that are in there. There's a reason that he went in the 7th round. So rather than, pile on and show you why, I just want to have a quick conversation about it here. James Williams is just a slow mover out on the field. For a safety, not very agile. Really looks like he's laboring out there when he's moving around, gets blown by faster ball carriers, by wide receivers. He's a guy who misses a lot of tackles as well because he's over aggressive and dipping his head, always looking to make that hard hit. And we showed some of those hard hits as you saw, but he's always hunting for that hard hit shoulder first rather than being a good form tackler. So he's a guy who really needs to have his technique cleaned up. But also, the speed is the reason that he is moving from a defensive back, which he never should have been a defensive back in college anyway. What Miami folks and college football fans have told me is he refused to play linebacker and wanted to play safety at Miami. He was a high recruit, so they probably just bit the bullet and said, all right, we'll take the talent and let you do what you want. But the Titans have already said he's going to be a linebacker, and he should have been a linebacker a long time ago. So those are some of the worries with James Williams, but what we saw on tape, the ability to match up, the ability to play with physicality, should suit him very well as a special teams player early on, and then he could develop a role as a dime backer or a matchup tight end guy going forward. But with that being said, again, 7th round pick for a reason. I didn't want to spend too much time harping on him when it's obvious that there are issues with how late that he went in the draft. But with that being said, now let's move forward and take a look at Jaylen Harrell. All right, now let's talk about Jaylen Harrell, the edge out of Michigan, the Titans' final pick in the draft. And one thing that I'm going to talk about later in the video is the fact that he needs to add more pass rush moves and really clean up his technique because he doesn't have great change of direction and agility. So he's not just going to run the loop and bend underneath offensive linemen like you would see like Harold Landry do. He's not going to do that motorbike lean that a lot of the quickest, bendiest edge rushers in the league have. So he's really going to have to be advanced with his hand technique. Right now he plays with a ton of effort, but he does have one really good pass rush move that he uses quite a bit on tape, and it's a spin move. So you have Harrell right here. All right, and he's going to go one-on-one with the offensive lineman. He's just going to come out and then spin back inside. And I saw it quite a few times on tape from him. It's something that he's comfortable doing. So if he can add a counter to that, if he can add some more moves on top of that, he could have the ability to have some success at the next level as a rusher for the Titans, even if he's going to start out as more of a special teams player. Good job there. It's a good job. It's not the greatest, quickest spin move I've ever seen in my life, but this is against Ohio State, who has good offensive line play and good offensive tackles. Boom. Inside move. Really slam that inside arm off the back of the offensive tackle to make sure that you keep him there with force. Doesn't get the sack or anything, but, very good move. I like the move from Jaylen Harrell. That's something that he's going to, have to improve on. Boom. This is another example right here of the spin move. So you got Harrell right here going up against Wallace, right? That's the right name, Wallace, the right tackle from Penn State, who a lot of people thought was pretty solid. He's no Olu Fashanu in pass protection, but a solid player. And Harrell hits him again with the nice spin move. Fake that. See, he's faking that outside move right here. Like I'm about to juke and then go back to the outside. And then once you think I'm outside and I got room on the inside, I spin back. And using that arm, this arm right here, you got to use this arm to smack into the back of the offensive lineman. So not only are you hoping to catch them off guard just with the spin move and get them leaning forward like this, but you close the door with that backside arm and use it to slam into the offensive lineman and kind of firm up, again, opening that door for the spin move. And that's what we see Harrell do here. Doesn't get the sack, but you're not always going to get the sack, all right? These are good moves that you can build on. All right, when I show you this play right here, remember what I've been saying. Straight line speed. Harrell has good straight line speed. He maybe doesn't have great agility and change of direction, but the straight line speed is there. And on this play, he's going to go unblocked. All right, so it's not like he had some crazy move or anything. He's unblocked and gets a sack. But what I want you to envision while you're watching this is special teams. Because this is the type of stuff that we're going to need Harrell to do on special teams. Straight line speed, get down the field, and when you get to the ball carrier, make sure that you wrap up. So, not the most impressive pass rush rep of all, but when you think about the skill set and the athlete that he is and what he brings to the table, then you start to think, okay, this is something that he, again, not blocked, straight line speed. Fast, right? Fast. He's not plodding. He's not slow. You know, he may not have great COD, but he's a guy with good straight line speed, and he makes the play. A lot of guys, they get there, they catch the rabbit, they don't know what to do next. He gets on him. Good rep. I think this is something that Harrell's going to be able to help the Titans with right away as well, if they want to run twists and stunts up front. So what we're going to see from Michigan on this play right here is 94 is going to shoot out this way, and the goal is to take both of the offensive linemen with him. So his job is to go into that offensive tackle and pull the guard with him there. And hopefully what that does is it opens up a window right here for Harrell to loop inside. It's just a quick, TE stunt. And I think the Titans are going to do a lot of stuff like this. So Harrell does a good job of getting right off the butt of the defensive tackle and getting in this opening and getting to the quarterback. And he doesn't get the sack, but he affects the quarterback, and it turns into a big play for his defense. And this is why people tell you sacks aren't everything, because he didn't get a sack on this. There is no statistical credit that Harrell is going to get in the traditional box score for this play. None. Like, if you go look at advanced data like pressures from Pro Football Focus and stuff like that, yeah, he'll get a pressure for this. But in your traditional box score, tackles, tackle for loss, sacks, forced fumble, all that, he's going to get nothing for this. You would never know that Jaylen Harrell made any kind of play, but he did make this play on this twist stunt. Boom. Right off the butt of his tackle, right off the butt of the guard. Good speed to get inside. Hands up to affect the quarterback, and it turns into a turnover for his defense. That's team play. That's being a football player right there. So maybe more of a special teams guy early on while he builds mass and all that, but this is good stuff from Jaylen Harrell. Again, guys, same concept here. I don't want to harp on the bad plays from Jaylen Harrell as a 7th-round pick out of Michigan. We'll just have the conversation. You see the straight line speed. You see a decent beginning to having some pass rush moves. We saw the spin move and things like that. He's a guy with great character who is going to play very, very hard. He's going to be more than willing to help on special teams, but he needs to add weight at the next level. I posted just a single clip on my Twitter at Tic Tac Titans of him versus J.C. Latham, and Latham just grabs him, puts him on the ground right away. He's got to get stronger. He's got to add weight. And again, he's more of a straight line speed type guy than he is an agile change of direction guy. So that's something that he'll obviously need to work on. And if he's not able to improve, because agility and change of direction, some of that is mostly just innate talent and the way that your body is built. So if he's going to be a straight line speed to power guy, then he's got to add mass and get stronger. And those are things that we're going to be looking for. He's also going to have to develop more pass rush moves other than just the spin move, get a club rip, get a swim move in there. He's going to have to develop kind of the mental and technical aspects of his game to go along with adding some weight as well. So those are the things that I'm looking for improvement with Jaylen Harrell. But overall, two very, potential packed 7th-round picks, especially with James Williams, a guy that size, with that physicality. And then Harrell is just a really, really clean football guy who's going to be a good culture setter in your locker room. Jim Harbaugh called him the tone setter of the Michigan defense. Michigan, of course, won a national championship, led mostly by their fantastic defense. So these are the type of guys you take a dart throw with a high potential guy in Williams, and then you get a really good culture, strong football character guy in Jaylen Harrell. So I like both those picks. Again, 7th-round dart throws. I'm not here to tell you that both these guys are going to turn into studs or freaks or anything like that, but wanted to break down their games and what they do well. And hopefully the Titans can leverage that going forward. But that's going to do it for my film breakdowns on all these draft prospects. Again, I did J.C. Latham. I did Tavondre Sweat. We did Cedric Gray. We doubled up with Jarvis Brownlee Jr. and Jaquan Jackson. Now we hit the 7th-round picks in James Williams and Jaylen Harrell. You're not going to get film content as consistent as this, as in-depth as this, anywhere else solely focused on the Tennessee Titans. So make sure you get subscribed. Stay subscribed. I'm going to have more content. Tyler Boyd coming up next week. We still got to talk Lloyd Cushenberry. Going to get into Roger McCreary, Harold Landry, a bunch of guys from last year as well. Probably going to talk about what's going on with Treylon Burks at some point during the summer. And once we get to the season, I'm going to have 5 days of content every single week, all week long during the season. So get subscribed, stay subscribed. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. And as I tell you guys every time, tighten up.